Hey guys, this is Aaron Etheridge once again, lead developer for Lucid Dreamers, and this video is going to give you a little update on where our game, Empires of Sorcery, currently is in development. We've made some interesting progress this week. Not all of it's got a lot of flashy graphics. In fact, I want to underline, guys, once again, these are filler graphics. These are placeholders. The number one reason we have this Kickstarter running is to raise money to get professionally done graphics for the game. Almost all the money you guys pledge is going to go to the artist, at least until we reach stretch goals. And then as we reach them, we'll discuss them stretch goal by stretch goal. Real quick, we've got our starter army here, George, and a militia unit. The difference is, rather than pulling this unit data from just a hardlined code, as it was last week, now we're loading it from XML files. As you can see here, we've got herofighter1.xml. Herofighter1 is the official name of George. Here you can see we've got the default name, things about the icon, the sprite, the button, how many members the unit has, the level 1 stats for George. Now guys familiar with the D20 system are going to very quickly recognize things like armor class, hit points, reflex save. These things are going to be old hat to any of you guys that are familiar with the D20 system. One of the things that I want to highlight, and this does tie right into the D20 system, it's just a little different looking. You've got the number of melee attacks and the number of ranged attacks that the units have. Each attack is broken down by, first of all, it's got an attack bonus and a damage bonus. So units that get multiple attacks, you can actually break them down. Then each of those attacks consists of multiple attack die. Obviously this one only has one attack die. The reason that we're adding the attack die individually is, say that you had something like a holy flaming longsword. Alright, you'd be able to put an attack die in for the sword itself, like 1d8, that's damage type. As you can see over here, the damage types are listed. That was slashing. This is a special weapon for those of you keeping track. George's default weapon is bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Don't ask me what kind of weapon that is. It's a very good one. Then you'd have an attack die to represent the holy damage and an attack die to represent the fire damage. The reason this is important, so you've got a fire elemental that has damage resistance against fire damage. The fire damage die would be susceptible to the fire resistance, and so it wouldn't do full damage, but the holy damage and the sword damage would cut right through. That's important. The main thing about all this that I want you guys to take away from this is that you, as the player, are going to be able to edit units and tweak them. There's even a possibility that we're going to build a GUI interface, depending on Kickstarter goals, interest in the actual editing of units. Build a GUI interface where you guys will just be able to go in and make changes with the click of a button and then save them. And actually, if we go that route, what we're going to have is a return to default. We'll probably have a set of default files where if you ever want to just go back to the game's default, you'll be able to do that with a couple of clicks. We want to make sure that you can't accidentally break anything. But either way, XML, you guys are going to be able to edit the units. I want to underline, this was a backer idea. One of the backers from the Kickstarter got on the forums, mentioned this idea. In fact, I think they may have even mentioned it in the comments if you look over that. We took this idea and we ran with it. We are listening to you guys. The more feedback we get, the better this game is going to get. This is a brilliant idea that I hadn't even considered. So I'm glad that somebody did. So even though this looks like the same old George icon and army, it is in fact fundamentally different. You can't see that, so I had to explain it. Other than that, this week, obviously, once again, guys, I've turned off the fog of war. City management. Alright, we've got a number of farmers up here producing an amount of food equal to the labor they've put into it and the bonuses of the surrounding area. Production, same thing. Farmers create a little production. Farmers are hardworking people, and they create a very small amount of production so you can get things off the ground. You'll be able to see you can reassign these things. Now we're only 6 food, 4 production. 6 food, 1 production, 2 research. That's because the farmer and 1 laborer, just their combined is actually rounded down to 1 production. 2 research, obviously. These numbers are going to change, guys. I'm just showing you that you can move them around. and actually, change the values. Now, do these values matter? Well, I'll show you. We're going to go ahead and build a militia. It estimates that it's going to take 5 turns at a cost of 10. This is because we're at 2 production. So we go out of here and we 1 turn, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rome has finished building militia. And so it has. Well, let's say that's not fast enough. We up our production to 5. You'll also notice that our population is going up. We're going to change. We're going to build militia. It's estimating 2 turns. 1, 2. There it is. Alright. And once again, you can take these militia out of the army. Out of the city. They're a real army. We'll move. They can swim. They won't be able to in the long run. The black background is because we haven't had an artist build this battle map at all yet. And I'll explain some more about that in a minute. We'll just go ahead and wrap up this fight real quick. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. Okay. I'll show you guys. The reason that popped up black is because that was on a forest tile. And right now I have done nothing with the battle map for the forest tile because it doesn't really matter. But what it shows you is, alright, take this one on the plains tile. We'll just do this real quick. This video was kind of short. This is the default background for the plains. And so the one being, a nice green, and I realize this is not nice green at all, guys, but one being green representing the plains, and one being black representing the forest. Each terrain type is going to have a different background. We obviously have to have the artist do those. There are going to be trees and obstacles and things you can see that they're just not there right now. You will also notice that there's a slight bug here. This picture should have switched over to the militia at the end of the battle. It just did not run the update check on the icon. George got killed and it still thinks, well, it knows George is dead. That icon just thinks that George is in charge of this army, which clearly he is not. Like I said, guys, it's a work in progress. Either way, that is the video update this week. There's obviously going to be a little write-up with this as well. Please, guys, take a minute to read that. And, like the update, spread the word, guys. The more people that know about this, the more we're going to be able to raise. The more we raise, the more stretch goals we're going to hit. The game is really evolving. It's really taking shape, and you guys are having influence. Please, any of you backers, take the time, sign up for our forums, join us in the discussion. You can make a difference. You can change this game. That's something I want everybody to understand. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be in touch.